I want to thank everyone for joining me for my, like Big Sap said, I was up there reading the comments. He said the impromptu stream. Yes, impromptu streams is what I do best. Because it keeps you on your toes a little bit, make sure you subscribe. Like I always say, make sure you click the notification bell. That way you will be always in the know. Like some people say, I missed a stream. Check your phone. Check your notifications. You got them selected. You'll get these streams. I do them like that. I just kind of hit and miss. But when I woke up and I saw this news that we about to play, it was basically deja vu all over again. I mean, if you know the situation with Trayvon Martin, Freddie Gray, name somebody, they follow the same patterns, okay? And in order for us to understand racism and white supremacy, we must study the patterns. And when you study the patterns, you learn who they are. This is what they do to us. They have studied our patterns. They studied what triggers us, what makes us sad, what makes us emotional, how we move, how we don't move. Like they studied us and they constantly studying us. Matter of fact, they're here watching now. I know that. So this is what they do constantly, okay? In a system of racism and white supremacy, they cannot demonize their own unless that white person is non-racist, that white person is standing up against racism and white supremacy, then they would demonize them. So we know the shooting of Botham John happened in Dallas. You know the whole story with that. We don't have to get back into it. Well, this brother's dead. He's not here with us anymore. And last time I checked, he was the victim. He wasn't the cop. He didn't go to nobody else's house and kill nobody. It was the white female cop that did this. But yet they went to a judge to execute a search warrant for the victim's home for the purpose to see if they could find any kind of narcotics. I'm not making this up. I'm going to play the video real quick. The lawyer is going to talk about it. Let's play that real quick.
4 o'clock newscast. There was a new development in this case about marijuana found in Mr. John's apartment. Joining me right now are the legal team for the John family. We want to make a statement about that. Lee Merritt.
No, so we had a chance to look at the initial warrant that was signed by Judge Birmingham, and it was specifically looking for narcotics in Mr. John's house. For me and for the legal team for the family, it highlights just sort of the nefarious nature of their investigation. They went in with the intent to look for some sort of criminal justification for the victim. And it's a pattern that we've seen before. It's a pattern of we have a victim, we have a cop who clearly did something wrong, and instead of investigating the homicide, instead of going into her apartment and seeing what they can find, instead of collecting evidence relevant for the homicide investigation, they went out specifically looking for ways to tarnish the image of this young man. And it's even more tragic that the day that information is being released is the day that we've designed to remember who Botham was and what he meant to this community.
I know this is a new development. You guys are just learning about this today, as does the community.
We are learning about it, but again, what we are most concerned about is what happened at the moment that officer pulled the trigger. So as that finding, we have not had a chance to analyze it, but it's irrelevant to us. This guy, if you had the opportunity to attend the service, he's a wonderful guy. He's the type of kid that every parent would want as a son. So the fact that this is coming out moments after the funeral, it just makes you wonder, why would it come out at this time?
And gentlemen, I know we'll talk about this more with these developments. It's just a shock to you guys, and we're just learning about this right now. I know you want to mention something, Mr. Crump, too. Make this quick.
This is nothing but a disgusting attempt to assassinate his character after they assassinated his person. I mean, this young man was the best that we had to offer as a society.
Thank you much, gentlemen. Mr. Ben Crump, Lee Merritt, and Darrell Washington. And with so many questions still remaining and so many stories that we heard shortly after this death, you know that media and all investigators are going to be continuing to dig into this story. They just approached me a few moments ago, and again, we'll continue to look in developments on this particular case about this marijuana issue and this entire investigation.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that. And I have to agree with the words of Benjamin Crump. They assassinated his person. Now they're trying to assassinate his character. Prior to that, you never heard nothing bad about this man at all. Nobody said anything bad about him. But they went to execute a search warrant on his home for the purpose of looking for narcotics. We don't know. They could have planted that. How do we know that's his marijuana? We know the cops plant stuff on black people all the time. They plant guns. They plant drugs. They plant all kind of stuff on black people. So how do we know they didn't plant that in his house? How do we know? And even if it was his, even if it was, so who cares? He was murdered in his home. That doesn't negate the fact that he was murdered in his home. See, the thing is, they tried to demonize our children, demonize the women, demonize the men. Any little thing, we're a victim. Let me try to find one thing wrong. Let me tell you something. You can find something wrong in everybody's life. It don't matter who you are. My thing is, where's that search warrant for her apartment? Where's her search warrant, matter of fact, for her social media? Because them family members she has walk around with All Lives Matter shirts on and throwing up white power signals. I want to know what her social media looks like in relation to how she talk about black people. And I heard that she used to complain on him a lot. Botham Jean. She used to complain about noise all the time with him. Why do they look into that? Did she go approach his apartment because she was pissed off about some noise he made or whatever the case may be? Excuse me. They do this time after time after time after time after time. And it's tiresome. It's tiresome. And you wonder, and some people that come here wonder why people speak the way they speak in the comments section on some things. Do they ever demonize a white victim like this? Do they ever do that? No, they don't. They don't even dare. And then think about it. The day they put it out, it's the day they putting him into the ground. They never treat white people like that. They respect them. They don't like to go put cameras in their face and say, oh, no, dude, we mourning. It's not time for something like that. They respect them. When it comes to black people, the day you getting put in the ground after them murdering you, that's the day they want to put out about a search warrant in your house when you've been murdered. So you at your house, they go there to kill you, and somehow they still find wrong with you. Yeah, and they've been working to try to concoct the story for the longest. I knew all the BS that was gonna come out. I knew it. You probably knew it too. But this is, like I say, this is America. It's exactly how it is in this country. And like I said, they don't change their stripes. They do the same thing. It's like expect it to happen. That's why we always say, are we surprised at some of the things that's happening? Are we surprised at the cover-ups? Are we surprised at the lies? Are we really surprised at that? No, we're not surprised at that. And then when you say, I just don't want to be around them kind of people, look at what they do, look at what they behind, and then they want to say you're wrong. They want to say you're wrong. Like, I can sit up there and even think about going and look inside of a murdered person. I don't care who it is. I don't care about no color, no person. You were murdered inside your home. Why would I go look to see what error I can find in the victim? Like, what is that going to do? They're dead. Like, what do you plan on doing with that? It doesn't make sense. Oh, but it makes sense because they know, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to try to stack the jury with mostly white folks that support maybe cops. That's what they're going to try to do at least. Or maybe some shucking and jiving black person, we don't know, that says, well, I don't know. You know how that type is. Just so you can try to get her off or minimize the time for her. Because I wouldn't be surprised. Listen, I'm going to say this now. If they find her not guilty, I wouldn't be surprised at this point either, because they doing everything they can to try to taint the potential jury. Over and over and over and over and over. Come on, you remember Trayvon? Trayvon was the victim, but yet he's been demonized night in and night out. Now he's going to be demonized. Oh, yeah, marijuana. He had marijuana. A lot of states in this country, marijuana is legal. It's just Texas is the one that's backwards. They don't have marijuana legalization. I don't know why they don't. Well, I mean, I know why it is, because you can't put a lot of people in jail when it's legal. I get that. No. Correct what you just said. You said that white supremacy will do anything it can to strip, your victimhood away. Make sure we put our victimhood as black people away. They want to strip ours away more than anything. Of course, they're doing it to other people too. Let's not say they're not. But definitely us. I told you, they trying to relive the casual killing act, what says that you can kill your slave and you're not going to go to jail. That's what they trying, because they still, think about it. They still view us in a lot of ways like their property. They can talk to us any kind of way. They can interject in our conversations. They, and Dr. Moonby said this, and that's, was very accurate. He said they have like this paternalistic relationship with black people, like trying to tell you what to do, trying to be like your mother, trying to be like your father, that sort of thing, telling you what to do. And, like I said, the white supremacists even brought that up to my attention. When you talk, when they talk about names, they say, how some of us have certain names, and say it's still related to the plantation owners, and that's how they think. That's exactly how they think. So us as black people, my thing is, what are we gonna do though? Like, what is our solution if we know this is how these people operate? What are we gonna do? How are we gonna solve it? Pamela, yeah, they treating her like Betty Shelby, yeah, and they want her to get off. It's just that simple. They want her to get off. Remember, she's a little delicate flower. You can't do nothing to those little delicate flowers. She's a victim. She's crying, and that's the way they act. What Kim, hey, that should be an option to everybody. I know a lot of our home is here. Look, realistically, our home is here. We built this country. Yes, we do have a stake in this country. I get it. But I just think us as, African Americans, we should at least visit the continent, or at least try to build a home there. And if we do anything, go back and forth, or we want to do permanently, we can do that too. But at least have the option to go, because these people here, man, they're not going to stop. I told y'all, the more they go down, the more violent they will become. I'm telling you, y'all talking, I see some of y'all in the comment section saying 2031 can't get here fast enough. They're going to be way more violent the closer and closer that time becomes. Y'all have to understand that. They're not going to put her on no firing squad. They're not going to do anything. Now, the sister at the African Union told me, now that's what she said, they believe in Ethiopia, an eye for an eye. They definitely believe an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. And beyond with you, excuse me, that's the only thing they understand is an eye for an eye, unfortunately. Y'all, give me a second. Sorry for that. I had to go and get a water real quick. Because as I start talking, I won't start coughing. Anna Brown. I agree with you. It doesn't give her the right to do what she did. But you have to remember, in America, they get away with everything. I just saw a story. I'll share the story where they molest kids. They don't go to jail. They had a white woman teacher that just got convicted, actually. She was convicted. She was giving oral sex to 14-year-olds. And all she got was 10 years probation. She didn't go to jail. 10 years probation. Now, that was completely wrong. Completely wrong. But yes, she got 10 years probation. That's all she got. Very, very sick. They don't send their own to jail. They build the jails for you. They build the jails for us as black folk. Remember that 13th Amendment says you can put people into slavery under crime and punishment. Do you think they want white people enslaved? Yes, they have some white people in jail, but they try to lock you up. And they try to lock people up based on the racial hierarchy system. Yeah, you're right. I've had look homeboys that told me that these pedophiles go to jail. They do a year at the most, sometimes 2 years, and they right back out. You had a brother that had some weed in his pocket doing more time than a pedophile. But remember, in the United States, pedophiles are trying to establish themselves as a minority. This is why we need to stop using that word minority. Because that word, unfortunately, has been flooded minority. Everybody else is in the word minority. And at the bottom of all of everything, that's where we at. We get the scraps, whatever that may be. So if pedophiles are trying to call themselves minorities, no. But when it comes back to this, demonization of the victims in our community, it's not going to stop. And see, and I was reading some comments the other day, and I was saying the white supremacists, they hate us. I said the words, and I'm going to repeat it again when I say it. The white supremacists and white supremacy, the white supremacists, I'm going to repeat this again, and white supremacy together are the enemy of black people. That's the exact words I said. Boy, don't you know, I have so many white supremacist sympathizers come to my... See, that's the problem right there. Why would you say they're the enemy? Look how you treating us. What do you mean? You treat us like a friend? You murder, so you support murder. What are you talking about? A man was murdered. You go in to go demonize the man who's a murder victim. Who does that? And notice they only do it to us more than anybody else. You notice that? But we don't supposed to say that the white supremacist is the enemy. See, what they want is go along and get along Negro. To say, I forgive. I understand why you had to shoot me in the back. I know, I forgive. That's what they want. And they try to push this fake morality at you to get you to be this go along and get along Negro. And unfortunately, because black people respond to that, this fake morality, that's how they get y'all to say, I forgive, and I'm gonna turn the other cheek, and I know it's not everybody. I know it's not there. Get you just to bow down real quick with this fake morality. And they don't live that morality at all. Because if they lived that morality, they wouldn't kill you. They wouldn't sit up here and go get search warrants to demonize a dead victim. They wouldn't have done the same to Trayvon Martin. They wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have done that at all. And somehow we're wrong, or I'm wrong, for telling you what I see. Like what are we supposed to say when we see this? You know, I interviewed, I'm put this interview up. I interviewed a pastor yesterday, man. Awesome. He's a great pastor, actually. And he told me white supremacy is sin. And that's the best word to describe it. It's sin, it's unrighteousness. It is a doctrine of Satan and an operation of Satan. And this is why I use the words, you know, some people, you know, they're acting brand new now. They get a little knowledge and they act like there's no existence of God or Satan themselves now. You know, you know everything. You didn't read some meta and you didn't read the ISIS papers or you didn't read something and now you know it all. But, you know, the same, if you study Satan and study Satan's tactics, that's everything that white supremacy does. You know, when they play this game about white supremacy, what is that? What is a white supremacy? You know, the greatest trick Satan pulls is trying to make you think he doesn't exist. So it's the same thing white supremacists do. White supremacy, I don't know what that is. It's in your face every day, but I don't know what that is. Tell me what is it? Like playing games with you. You get what I'm saying? But you are victims every day of the system. Botham Jean is a victim of white supremacy. He's being victimized in his death. He's not here anymore. He's still being victimized. That's how much allegiance white supremacy is with Satan. I'm gonna demonize you even when you're dead. Curtis Washington, you're right on Facebook. They are the true adversaries of God. I agree with that, Curtis Washington. That's some perfect knowledge right there. Yeah, Satan is alive and well, Miss Brady there. I agree. Definitely. We see Satan, like I say, Satan manifests himself through human beings, just like God can manifest himself through human beings. Kill, steal, and destroy. That is what Christ had described what Satan is. What has white supremacy has done? Kill, steal, and destroy. Killing Botham Jean. Trying to destroy his name. Trying to demonize him. That's Satan. And yes, you should not trust. The thing is, they put themselves in that position. And also, you know, what some people have to understand too, even when you start discussing, that's why I don't have too many discussions with them about white supremacy, is that they don't really understand the concept of a tribe or a nation versus individualism. Because, you know, like I said, I'm always trying to study what we do and study them as well. And they really believe in individualism. So when you tell them about white supremacy, they really don't try to connect with it in their minds because they think of themselves as an entity by myself. I didn't do it. I. But they don't really think of our group, except if you ask them a question, hey, would you like to be treated like black people in the United States of America? They're not going to say, yeah, I want to be treated just like y'all. They're not going to say that because, listen, they know the evil, okay? They know the evil that's been done to you. They know the evil that's been done to me. They know. Okay, you know, Hakeem Ali, he says, don't spend a dime in Dallas until we see progress. He said, thanks for the content, Brother Phil. Yeah, I agree with Hakeem over there. You shouldn't spend a dime in the city of Dallas. That woman's charges need to be upgraded, and also the jury needs to be stacked. It needs to be stacked right. You say, do I think the hurricane is a judgment? Well, I talked to a Nigerian brother the other day, and he said, he said the hurricanes. He said, think about that. He said the same path that the hurricanes take is the same path they did with the transatlantic slave trade. He said, think about it. He said they come from the west coast of Africa. All the hurricanes come from just the west coast of Africa, and they always come this way. And he said, do you know that a lot of people practice, voodoo in that time period? And he said some people still practice it now. He was talking to me about a lot of curses that they believe in, right? He's a Nigerian brother. And he said, I'm telling you, there was African people in the bottom of those ships pronouncing curses the whole way here. He said, I'm telling you. And he said, when they got here, they was pronouncing curses. He said, I know that. He said, 'cause we believe in that, cursing your enemy. And he was saying that all these hurricanes, all this other stuff that happens, he said, man, he said to me, that just setting things right. As he was saying, he said, because what they did to us. And I'm like, there's a lot of people lose their lives in hurricanes, and I'm going to tell you something else very, very disgusting. I think South Carolina's done. They say it's mandatory evacuation for this hurricane. Now listen to these white supremacists. They said that they were going to leave the prisoners in the jail, even though they're telling you mandatory evacuation. They're going to leave the prisoners in the jail, and the staff have to stay at the jail too. They're not going to transport them to another prison where it's inland, where, they're not going to possibly be drowned or whatever. But they want to leave the prisoners in there. And you know what they said on the news? That hurricane is literally doing like Hurricane Harvey. It's literally just sitting there spinning. And when it's just sitting there spinning, it's just dumping rain the whole time. And I saw some of the pictures, and it started to look like Hurricane Harvey all over again. Or the water's just everywhere. And they're going to leave those prisoners. Listen, you're still American citizens even if you're prisoners. And yet that's why I say they evil. That is evil. I don't care. Look, I don't care what's going on. You still have your rights, even though you're a prisoner. And not everybody in prison is a mass freaking murderer. Everybody in prison isn't a terrorist. You got a lot of people in prison that has drug charges, and they not no drug kingpins either. A lot of these people, they got black people in jail for stupidity. They have so many brothers in jail has been railroaded. But in this system of racism and white supremacy, they teach, all criminals, which all of us became criminals when we got out the plantation. We all became criminals and lazy, because we wasn't working for them for free anymore. So they leave these brothers in the prison with a hurricane. They telling you to get out for. They're just leaving them there. Yeah, they want them to drown in their cells. Exactly. That's exactly what they want them to do. It's to drown in their cells. And, well, okay, yeah, they can be sued later, but that doesn't replace the people that was killed. And it's going to affect mostly black men. This is why the judgment has to come, and the plague's going to come too from the Lord. It ain't going to come from me, because it has to happen. It's evil. It is just straight evil. Okay, the family could sue, but what good is suing if your family member's dead? What good is that? Okay, let me read this super chat real quick. They say ignorance of the law isn't an excuse, so why is the cop not charged with criminal trespassing too? Her mistake isn't an excuse for entering his property without his permission. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you. But you have to remember, she has the golden skin color in America. She's white. Or not even the color white, because this piece of paper is white. She's not this color. They more like peach with a bunch of red. They're not white. And saying the color black, this pen is next to my skin color. Not that either. I'm dark brown. I'm not black. Well, you know, if actually all of us would follow what Dr. King showed us to do and do something economically, we can make a difference. But unfortunately, it's not enough of us on board to stage a mass boycott. Look, I'm all for boycotts. I'm for financial boycotts. Let's get it. I'm all for it. Let's pick a target and let's boycott them. I'm ready. Well, is the rest of Black America ready for a boycott? And you want to boycott who? What person, what entity are you going to, okay, I agree with the brother. Boycott, you can do a boycott in Dallas. But is all the black people in Dallas going to be on board? Oh, you laughing at my shirt, T. Walker? You say how far is Houston from Dallas? I think 4.5 hours. So around there. Well, from what I was told by a brother, you know, I love to get some knowledge from the older generation too. They were saying is they didn't continue the work. Once they got their freedom, they kind of just do like a lot of black people normally do. We get excited and we don't continue to do something. We get comfortable. And those black people at the time period just got comfortable and they stopped fighting and then that's what kind of we went to hell. Kay Samuel say he thinks she planted those items in his apartment. Like I said, it don't put it past them. They plant evidence all the freaking time. How many videos have I done where cops have planted drugs on people? Planted drugs and say, "Oh, look what I found," but their own body cam caught them planting drugs. So they plant drugs all the time. So it wouldn't be nothing. Okay, you said hold on. Make sure I read her super chat. I don't want not to read it. You say you live Kebra Moore says I live in Granbury, 60 miles from Dallas. I am sick to my stomach with all what's going on. Houston is 3.5 hours from Dallas. Well, I guess depending on you driving, you know, I guess Kebra be driving. I guess good. What's the speed limit on that road, Kebra? Is about what, 80? I guess now? 85? Well, you know, that's why I told y'all get your passports because if they want to start pulling that FEMA cap crap, you know, at least you can leave. You ain't got to be subjected to it. We always talking about passports. Get your passport. I'm not telling you got to go to Africa, but go wherever you want to go. That's your business. But at least have an option. They got some black Americans that went to Belize. Some of them stay in, you know, other places in South America too. Some stay in the Caribbean. I wouldn't want to stay in the Caribbean because I don't like a death trap. To me, the Caribbean is a death trap. Hurricane come through there, you can't run from it. You can't. So there's nowhere you can go to get away from hurricane. You dealing with it. So now I couldn't do on not the Caribbean. What a march on Washington is going to do? Like I said, listen, if you saying let's march on Washington for what? I like marches and whatever, but unless it's going to be followed with concrete change, because you go do some marching, but you have no legislation, you have no bills, you have no law changes. Like what you need is to bust up those police unions. That's what black people need to do. They need to try to get laws where there should be no police unions. If you work for the city, then you subjected to the city. You should not have no union. And these unions are literally white supremacist groups. Okay. The matter of fact, the family in New York, y'all should be in front of the mayor's office, pissed off that the police union saying regular citizens will give you $500 if you help us subdue a suspect. Y'all should already know what's going to happen with that. It's going to be a bunch of vigilante white males trying to help subdue black people. You already know that what's going to happen. Y'all should be pissed about that police union with that in New York. But like I said, y'all want to boycott like a few years ago when y'all did the boycott on Thanksgiving and y'all did the boycott on Christmas, that hurt them. And that was a good thing. I think we should be boycotting every year. Definitely boycott the holidays every year. They say Christmas, Thanksgiving, boycott it. Don't buy it. Don't do no. Because think about it. Why are you spending money on one day out the year anyway? You want to buy something for your children, you can buy that all year long. The thing is, retail make all their money around the holiday season, Thanksgiving and Christmas. We know Thanksgiving is a holiday celebrated of murdering the indigenous people of this land. You know that. They celebrate the murder and the theft of what they've done to those people. So why should we sit around and celebrate that? I'm just saying, I'm going to celebrate these big holidays. I know in America, I know a lot of us get together with families, they give us time off and family get together. I know that too. I want to say this with balance, But Thanksgiving is not something that we should just be actively celebrating. You want to get your family and have a good time, do that. But it's not something we should be just actively saying, happy Thanksgiving to people, because you're celebrating mass murder. And then they lied to you in school and told you like it was like a great thing or something. That'd be like having a dinner celebrating the murder of Botham Jean there. There you go. Every treaty these people made with the indigenous people, they never follow it. They murdered them, and then they stuck them on little reservations. And they don't get to talk, but the few I have talked to are highly pissed off at the white supremacists, and they can't stand them because they look at how is it all this is our land, and then now we on this little piece of property, and you want to come through this little piece of property we haven't put a pipeline. So yeah, they a lot of them pissed off. The situation Christmas, that's white Jesus. They ain't celebrating the true Jesus that the Bible describes. That's the God of white supremacy, white Jesus. So white Jesus is what they celebrate, and they say because of white Jesus, you need to break your bank accounts and give all your money to retail industry. And a lot of this retail industry get their labor from prison populations, not paying them anything. So yes, we coming up on the time period. I think every year we should boycott. And trust me, with the Nike situation that happened with Colin Kaepernick, okay, we have proven that our economics can move or break something. Because the Make America Great Again fake patriots went to boycott Nike. And what happened? Their sales went up. Even with the Make America Great Again fake patriots boycotting, their sales went up by 31%. Don't tell me that you don't have any kind of economic power in America. They know you got economic power. You just don't use it. You can make a lot of moves in this country to change things for the better. Even stopping all this police killing. But trust me, the only thing they understand in this country is money. That's it. They don't care about your crying. They don't care about your begging. Please be my friend. They don't care. All they care about is money. And I'm telling you, like the brother said earlier, if black folks will say, I ain't spending a dime in this city until she get a murder charge. Just say it like that. I ain't spending a dime. We ain't buying no gas. We're not buying no food. We're not eating in a restaurant. We're not doing none of that in this city until she get a murder charge. That can actually be done. You can go over to the next city over and go buy your gas. You can go buy your food. Will it take a sacrifice at times? Yes. When they had boycotted the buses and then Montgomery bus boycott, yes, it took. They did it for a whole year, not a few months, a few weeks, a year. And once they wasn't getting black folks money for a year, they changed the whole law up behind it. So y'all can do that. Some people always talking about, man, we got to do this, we got to do that. You talking about hard stuff at that. And like, y'all can't, some of you don't even want to do the simple stuff of just keeping your money in your pocket. That's simple. Some people don't want to just not watch the NFL. That's simple. They ain't hard to do. I don't watch the NFL. I don't. And the reason why I don't watch it because I don't like what they did Colin Kaepernick. And I've always been a big football fan. Troy, not yet, brother. About the Caribbean, not yet. I'm not saying it's not a beautiful place to be. I'm not saying it. I just say that I just know hurricanes. I grew up in the South, and I would not want to be at least over there in the Caribbean during hurricane season. No, I wouldn't want to do that. You can't escape anywhere. Hey, if y'all want to boycott, I'm all for it. Let's boycott. Boycott all that spending money for Thanksgiving and Christmas like we did that one year. I think it was 2 years ago. Everybody just said that let's just do a boycott, and they lost money in the billions when we decided to boycott. And then we talked about boycotting the retail industry. I had all of them coming in my page. Why are you going to hurt innocent businesses? What did they do to you? I said, boy, y'all on cold like a mug. Y'all defend y'all businesses to the core. I mean, y'all should be glad. Say, at least those Negroes won't be here. I can shop free. You should be saying that, but no, because they understand. We need the Negroes' money. We can't have them Negroes keeping their money in their back pocket. And then what was the rules of the boycott a few years ago? Boycott everybody else. If you're going to shop and spend money, do it with your own. That was the only rule to it. Go to a business in the community. That was the only rule. That was it. If you had to shop that bad, just do it with the community. That's it. Boy, they didn't like that. You're right. Yes, you're right. We can make or break the economy. Yes, we can. $1.4 trillion. Oh, yes, it can. And they know that. That's why our power is that. Our power isn't in the street begging and pleading and saying Black Lives Matter. No. If you want to stop police brutality, you do it through the power of the purse. That's what you do with it. No politician can fix it for you. Trust me. They'll start changing laws once you start, because they got to have your money. They can't operate without your money. Them same police is killing you off of your dime. Do you know that? If the city don't get money, they can't pay the cops. What if you actually had some testicular fortitude to say, I'm not spending money in this city as long as that cop's on the force. That one cop still employed. We not spending money. And they see you serious about that cop gone. Because they want that. And you have to do things like that to make them respect you. The reason why a lot of times Black people aren't respected is because you don't make people respect you. People are not going to automatically respect you. And the power of the purse is a form of power. Power. And then when people do it collectively, see, they can go after a leader and take him or her down. But if everybody do it together on one accord, they can't stop you from not spending your money. It's not illegal. It's no crime. How you gonna go to jail by holding your own money? And you don't have to give an explanation why, because they'll slide in and say, well, why this and why that? Like you don't explain anything. Nothing to explain. Oh, you talking about the Chinese? Yeah, I seen Dr. Movie made a video about Zambia. The Chinese is basically just taking it over, taking over their power company, and they taking over their media. I'm calling it what it is. A lot of leaders over there on the continent of Africa are greedy. They, from what I read, that China giving them the money, but what's happening is the leaders are putting the money in their back pocket. They're not doing what they're supposed to do with the money that China's giving them. And then China come back and say, hey, you promised me X amount of dollars back. So in agreement, if you don't give me my money back, I'm going to get your power company. And the leaders are now like, I don't know what happened, man. They are screwing their own people. That's how China's coming in. Now, I will say this about that white supremacist. I will say this: that white supremacists ain't gonna let China go take too many countries now. They'll start a war with them before they do that, because whoever controls Africa controls the world. I'll repeat that again. Whoever controls Africa controls the world. All the resources are there. That's why. These countries don't have no resources. China don't have no resources. If China had resources, China is overpopulated. They have too many people. And they try to dump them everywhere they can. Also, you talking about immigrants. I just read a thing about immigrants. You know, like Trump is talking about Hispanics coming over. Actually, they said that from 2010 to now, 2.6 million Asians have come into this country. And they said 1.4 million Hispanics. They said the Asians, most of them are coming from China. And most of them have a college education, a lot of them. So really, shouldn't Trump also be looking at the Chinese coming into this country? And the thing is, the Chinese are set up here, not just Africa. Do you know China owns a lot of debt in this country? I hope you know that. They own a lot of the debt in this country. Chinatown is everywhere. They so tied in. You know, you talk about over there, oh, they putting up roads and they writing in Chinese. They got that stuff right here in America. You'd be surprised how much China owns. Let me pull something up real quick. I'm going to tell you how much of our national debt that China owns. Just give me a second. I'm going to pull it up and tell you right now. Hold on. Hold on, let me write this right. Let me see, hold on. China, they hold, hold on. How much is US debt to China? I'm gonna make sure I put $1.8 trillion of June of 2018 is how much the U.S. owes China. $1.8 trillion. Now, what if China calls in that debt? They don't tell you that, do they? Now, they won't do to the United States what they do in the Zambia, because the United States, you know how they are. They'll go to war with them before they let that happen. They are not going to let them come and just take this place over because they owe money. That's why. Trust me, if Zambia had the weapons that America had, China wouldn't be doing any of that. But China can still call in their debts. And China can hurt the economy if they do so. But the thing with the U.S. is China's economy is still linked with the U.S. economy because of the manufacturing. And that's why Trump is like trying to put all these tariffs on these American companies. So they will stop doing business with China and say, hey, if you don't want tariffs, well, come do your business back in the United States. That's why he's doing that for. Yeah, and also they said we got about 1,800 people watching on YouTube. You know, not that many on Facebook. You know, about 28 people or so on Facebook. Click the like button, guys, if you're here. Just, you know, we'll talk with you, but click the like button. Let's get the likes up a little bit if you're liking the content. You're talking about look, you said the Chinese are trying to do some global domination too. And I heard in Zambia, they just coming over. Just coming in. I mean, just coming in and setting up shop. No filters. It's the Chinese flooding Africa. But where is African Americans? We're not there. We're not doing anything. We still caught up with the white supremacists here. Now I'll tell you what. See, they need me to go run one of them nations. Let me go run it. Like I said, I'll show y'all how to deal with all these people. Like I said, because I'll tell you what. China, all of them. So I have something for them. Please. If you're coming in late, yes, we talked about that. They found marijuana in Botham Jean's home. They're doing it to demonize him. So yeah, illegal mining. They're doing all the illegal activity they want to, and then when they're reprimanded, the Chinese government come in and say, "Hey, you can't really be messing with our people like that." So it's screwed up. It is extremely screwed up how it is in a lot of African nations. But the thing is, they have to get those leaders out, because if they don't get those leaders out, they're going to be recolonized all over again to the Chinese. So you switch from the white colonizer to the Chinese colonizer. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I looked at the resources that's in Zambia. Why the hell do you have anybody in your country? That country should be having trillions of dollars. Let me tell you what the natural resources in Zambia. Just to talk about that. That's just frustrating me. Hold on. Okay. Zambia has this. Listen to the natural resources. They have copper, cobalt, zinc, lead, coal, emeralds, gold, silver, uranium. Now, uranium, you use that to make nuclear weapons. They can make their own nuclear weapons. They have uranium there. Okay. Petroleum, tin, nickel, phosphate, natural gas. They have all these. And let's look at their most valuable ones. Zambia holds 6% of the world's copper reserves and the fourth largest copper producing nation. Now, let's say if I was in control of Zambia myself, this is me. I'm the new president. So let's find out how much copper is. Let me see. Copper. Okay. Now, copper is selling $2.67 a pound in copper. A pound. Now, if I was to sell my copper, just even at that alone. So if you take your copper, what you got? 1,000. Hold on. Where's our calculator? Some of y'all mathematicians, before I get to my calculator, tell me how much money I would make if I would sell 1,000 pounds of copper at $2.67. How much? Before I pull it up. Not much money, but it's still some money, right? Pull this back up. So let's go to another natural resource. Let's look at cobalt, right? Cobalt is a big one. Okay, cobalt. $28.46 US per pound you get for cobalt. Now, this is two natural resources that we're talking about here out of Zambia. Why is Zambia broke? Why they asking China for money when you got natural resources? So what? We just calculated $2.67 for copper. Come on, we're gonna break this down here. $28.46. That's cobalt. Natural resources they have. No reason for them to ask China for any kind of money. Hold on, let's back up. Then they have price. They got what is it? Zinc. Zinc prices as of September 13th. That's not worth much. That's like $1.05 per pound. We're looking for let's say price for coal. Coal not selling that much. Let's look at what's the main one at? Here we go. Gold is selling $1,203 per ounce. For the pound, hold on, I'm trying to see how much it is for the pound. Okay, a pound of gold is 17,438. All right. So just for 1 pound of gold is 17,438.64. That's gold. Why is Zambia broke? Come on. Why is Zambia broke? You got gold that's selling at $17,000, 438.64 a pound. Why do you need China's money again? Like you have no resources. I don't understand that. I'm sitting up here doing just simple Google searches on the resources that they have. This doesn't make sense. I can sit here and read the price on everything that they have. I ain't even looked at. Let me look at it. They got silver too. Silver not going for that much. It's like 14, 18 per ounce. Silver selling at $177.80 per pound. Now, if you just calculate just a little bit that I put, so copper, cobalt, gold, and silver, why is Zambia taking money? What frustrates me about African nations, and I'm going to tell you what frustrates me. Every last one of those countries should be Mansa Musa. Trillions of dollars should be coming out of Africa. The continent of Africa should be not first world. It should be whatever world you want to call it above first world countries. All right. How is it that you sitting on gold that's going over $17,000 a pound, but you asking China for money? And you gonna let these Chinese come in there and take over all these resources I'm writing down on this paper? Come on, man. It doesn't make sense. Like I say, the people in Zambia, you want me to come be your president? I'll be your president. I'll tell you how to run it. I'll tell y'all how to run it. And what I would do with the resources, I believe in a socialist way with the resources. We make the money, we invest it back in the country, and we put some money in everybody's pocket. That's the way you do that, because the resources belong to the people. It don't belong to the leaders. That's the way you do that. Build up the infrastructure, put money in the back pockets of the people, make them happy. You know, all them resources, the government should be able to give you free health care, give you at least 1 to 2 years of college. If I'm selling, think about this. If I'm selling gold that much per pound at market value, right? So let me write, hold on. Put this up. Let's see. Okay. 100 pounds of gold, it'd be $1.7 million at 100 pounds of gold. If I got almost endless resources of gold, why do I need the Chinese? You get what I'm saying? Like, why? I don't need it. That's why I say their leaders are corrupt. Their leaders are corrupt. The little money that China is giving them, and you say, oh, China giving them $60 billion. That's nothing compared to the resources that they have. I just read that China is about to take over a port in Djibouti. They about to take, because they defaulting on their loans. They take the money from China. They tricking it off. They're not doing what they're supposed to do with it. China want their money back. They don't give China their money back because they know how greedy they are, know how they trick off the money. And then they come in, just take over. They default. You know, like here in America. You don't pay your bills, you default. They take stuff. Same thing. Who told you it was coming westernized when you start pointing what out? Well, if I had to be the president, nobody owning the gold mine. That is government ran. You can't have no gold mine. That's our resources. You can't own crap. First thing you start doing is, and if they are there, you start going there and immediately start changing the laws. Say, okay, nobody can own nothing. It's for the government. Well, we've been here. Okay, that's fine, but you got to go. Well, yeah, I know American politicians are corrupt too. I get it. They just a little bit more smoother with their corrupt. Yeah, Zambia has uranium too. They can make their own nuclear weapons. They don't need nothing. Uranium is a big component. No, I'm not rocking for no philosophy. I'm rocking just common sense. It's not a philosophy. It doesn't make sense for African nations that's sitting on resources to be in a position that some of them is in. No. Well, you know, Gaddafi was by himself. They shouldn't have the Gaddafi by himself. That's what happened. He was alone. If he actually had all the nations together as one, like Malema wants to do, if he had all the, like a United States of Africa, right, as one, then you couldn't pick him out because all the nations would come out and defend him. No, Gaddafi's mistake was getting rid of his nuclear weapons. He used to have them. He got rid of them and made him a target. Why do you think Kim Jong-un don't want to get rid of his nuclear weapons? He knows the moment he get rid of it, he's done. He know that. The youth of Africa, they could turn it around. I believe they could turn it around, but they got to get those leaders out. They got to get them out. You have to, with that much money that could actually be made in African nations. I don't agree completely with socialism, but I do believe in dispersing things among everybody. That part of socialism I do agree with. I don't think you should have this one ruling class of people and then everybody else poor and struggling. That's wrong. I think everybody should eat the same. You know what I'm saying? Off of the resources of the land. And build your superhighways, build your airports, build your hotels. You know, make sure you build it so nice we get your tourism up. And then after that, put some, man, every month send some checks to your people because you're selling it like that. I don't know why Africa is taking loans. They don't need it. Like every country that was up there. Let me see what you can go to. Look, just do Google searches on every country. Let's say resources in okay. We talking about South Africa. South Africa has diamonds and gold. They have iron ore, platinum, manganese, chromium, copper, uranium, silver, beryllium, and titanium. So South Africa is mineral rich too. So why is it that the brothers and sisters are struggling over there? Why? I'm just saying it doesn't. Once you break down these things, and I'm telling you, it doesn't make sense. Every African nation is full of resources. Them diamonds alone, right? What's the price of diamonds? Here we go. What's the price? Let's see. Rhodium, the monetary density of things. Hold on, I'm trying to think which one. I hope this is right. Oh, per gram. I'm sorry. Per gram. They do it in a gram. Now diamonds, depending on the clarity, it can go anywhere from $900 to $41,000 per carat. At 0.2 grams per carat, the diamond is worth between 4,500 to 206,000 per gram. So what I'm trying to figure out is why they broke. A 24K diamond is worth 1.8 million. Why South Africa is having money problems? Why is the rand having problems? It doesn't make. Like I said, I'm not a big financial guy. I'll just use a little common sense and just a little logic to try to understand and ask these questions. So it goes back to the leaders at that point. The leaders are greedy. All the leaders let the white supremacists come just overrun everything. And this is why the white supremacist nations are first world and a lot of those nations are third world. It's because they allow the white supremacists to rip off every resource they have to bring it back to their nations, make their nations beautiful, and the African nations can't, no, I'm not, African nations are changing every day. But when they finally wise up and say, this is where the money's at, is our resources, then the whole world be trying to run to Africa at that point. I'm just saying, I'm not going to keep beating y'all over the head about that. I know we've been on here too long, about an hour, 15 minutes, but just a little educational, right? And maybe we can start asking those questions to our get our African brothers and sisters to look at that and say, hey, what's going on with that, with your resources? Because it doesn't make sense when we put it down on paper. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the show today. Like I said, I'll try not to keep you guys too long because I don't like to, bore you guys. And also on the replays, it won't take too long. Make sure you subscribe as always, because how do you know we're going to do an impromptu stream, right? So, thank you guys for, super chats. Thank you, those of you who are donating through PayPal, Patreon. Also, thank you to people who mail things in. Thank you. And one more thing. Sometime between trying to do the videos, get editing done, trying to finish up, the book that we're writing here, trying to get things done and get ready for, next trips that we have to make. I have a hard time at times responding. I can't get to everybody. And if I haven't got to you, I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But I can't answer everybody. I mean, if you look at the vast size of this channel and then all the other things we have, I try to get to you guys. So if I don't respond, don't think I'm being mean. It's just I can't get to everybody now, but be persistent. A lot of times the persistent people, I probably will answer because they keep emailing me something. And if it's worthwhile, hey, I'm going to get to you. No problem. But like I said, I was letting you know. It's overwhelming. I used to answer everybody at one point in time, but now it didn't got too big. I can't. It's almost getting to a point I'm gonna have to get someone to do it for me because they're just too much. Everybody, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, emails. I mean, y'all be on it, but I try to go through it and check though, so keep sending it, like I said, because I may run into it. But thank you guys for listening today. Hope you have a good weekend and see you on the next upload.